Hi, it's Bruce. It's Sunday, November 7th. I've been away for a while. We went to Barcelona for a week. I got back a week ago. I highly recommend Barcelona. It's really a great city. We went because everybody had told us what a great city Barcelona was, and I finally gave in. Stayed in the city for the whole week, and it was lots to do. It was a fabulous time. All right. So before we went to Barcelona, we saw a very early preview of Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown, the new musical by David Yazbek, music and lyrics, and booked by Jeffrey Lane and directed by Bartlett Sher. It's a Lincoln Center production at the Belasco Theater. And it was an early preview, and I know things have changed because when we saw it, there was a Danny Burston number about Madrid in the second act, and I hear they moved it to the first act. So there's been major reshuffling. So I really can't speak with authority about what the final product is. But since I did read the reviews, which weren't all that kind, I think I can comment on what I saw that might have contributed to that. And but let me start with the high points. I actually like the score, and I hope they record it, because I think when you hear the score on a CD separated from the whole show, I think that David Yazbek's score is going to shine a lot more. I've always admired David Yazbek, and I think he did a really great job with the score. I loved what I heard of the numbers. Unfortunately, they were in this show, which was sort of a mishmash when I saw it, and I think maybe still is. Now, a lot of people have compared it to gazpacho, just a lot of ingredients all tossed around. The cast is superior. Now, if you love musicals and if you love musical history, then I suggest you see this show, because you have Danny Burston, Patti LuPone, Brian Stokes Mitchell, Sherry Renee Scott, and Laura Benanti. What a cast! It is a major musical, and though it fails on many levels, as I said, I like the score. Now, there's also a performance by Justin Guarini, who was in the first season of American Idol and came in second, and he's really, really quite good. I don't think they give enough for him to sing. His voice does show off, but he really had a lot of stage presence, and he plays Brian Stokes Mitchell's son, and a very credible musical comedy actor. So I hope he comes back to Broadway. Now, out of all those people, I must say Patti LuPone, it was wonderful to see her creating a role. I'm not always the biggest Patti LuPone fan, but she bit off the role with gusto, and she bites a lot of things off. And it was nice to see her in an original role. But my favorite performance was Laura Benanti. I thought she was wonderful. She has a number. You know, I didn't write it down. It's about the telephone. She's trying to make a telephone call. She's hysterical. She has the character. She has the right attitude. She has the pulse of the Spanish blood there going. She envelops that musical in the mood that it should be. What I hated the most about the show were the sets and projections. This show is giving me a headache. There were sets going this way and that way and down, and projections and streets, and it was like, please let us just sit and enjoy the show for a minute. It was moving like in 100 miles an hour. So, as I said, I don't know if it ever should have even been made into a musical, and certainly maybe not in the way it was. But Bartlett Sher the director couldn't quite get all those elements together. So I give it a recommendation to see only if you want to see every musical on Broadway ever, because it will fit into the history of the Broadway musical. All right. Now on to another musical. We also saw another early preview, and I don't like to review because obviously they have a lot to work out on it, but it's in very good shape. It's Elf, the holiday musical based on the film Elf, and it's playing only from now till I think January 2nd. It's a fun holiday musical. music by Matthew Sklar, and lyrics by Chad Begelin. I love these two guys. I've had an occasion to meet them. They're very sweet. They wrote a very nice score in here. It's a clever little musical, and the audience just ate it up. It's a fun holiday musical. The book is by Tom Meehan and Bob Martin. Bob Martin wrote The Drowsy Chaperone. There was one joke in the first act that Sandus says, and I was sitting around a lot of New Jersey people, and it's a New Jersey joke, and boy, they hated that. That disrupted them. You might want to lose the New Jersey joke, because I think a lot of people are coming from New Jersey. They took it very badly. Anyway, I thought it was quite funny. Sebastian Arcelus, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, Sebastian Arcelus, who was in a musical called Happiness and was in the Jersey Boys. I'm not too familiar with him, although I saw him in those shows. Was quite charming. I thought he had the audience eating out of the palm of his hand as Buddy the Elf, and he was quite adorable. Amy Spanger plays the girl he meets and falls in love with, and Mark Jacoby plays his father, who's very stern and businesslike. And then Mark Jacoby gets to really shine in Act 2 when he gets the holiday spirit. Beth Level is excellent as Buddy's stepmother, who's married to Mark Jacoby. And George Wendt is the always dependable George Wendt, instantly recognizable with that voice. The audience just loved when he came on stage as Santa Claus. So Casey Nicholaw is directing it. It's fun, it moves. I'm sure that it's getting more tight as the days go on. We saw, I think it was like the third preview or fourth preview. So holiday fun, go see Elf. Okay, I only have a couple minutes left. We saw another early preview of a play called Elling. It's a British import with the adaptation by Simon Bent. Elling, I guess, came from Norwegian novels. It was also done into a film, and I think it's a Norwegian stage play. It's about two misfits who are released by the Norwegian government from a mental institution kind of ward. One is a little slow learner, played by Brendan Fraser, quite a simple, large man. Brendan Fraser's gotten quite large. And Dennis O'Hare, who plays sort of a agoraphobic, nervous, not being able to go out and cope with the world, mama's boy who has lost his mother. This cast is fun. Now, I had a little trouble getting through Act 1. It wasn't winning me over. It did a little, mostly because of Brendan Fraser. I thought Brendan Fraser from the get-go was really wonderful. It took a little bit more to warm up to Dennis O'Hare, but he's quite more cool and aloof in it. Brendan Fraser's kind of a big lug and is kind of lovable. By Act 2, I think Dennis O'Hare, his character is reaching his stride because he gets to develop and in his relationship with Brendan Fraser. And Jennifer Coolidge, who you may know from film, is also in it. She plays a couple little roles in Act 1 and then has her big meaty role in Act 2 as someone who falls in love with Brendan Fraser. And I actually laughed quite a bit in Act 2. It's very odd. It's not for everybody. It's kind of an off-kilter comedy. I'm not sure it's gelled quite yet, but by Act 2 it got a standing ovation, and the performances are really good. So if you want a little bit off-kilter, maybe something you have to give a little time to get into. You know, the first act's like 40 minutes, and I wasn't quite into it completely yet. But Act 2, I got right in there. Elling, it's on Broadway at the Ethel Barrymore, and I got a TDF ticket for like $35, so it was certainly worth my afternoon. All right, enjoy the shows.